All right, so we have reached our last type of comma, which is called a tag comma. So in a sense, you can see this as the opposite of an introducer comma. So remember our introducer comma, it comes before our independent clause. So for example, you can have a word, a phrase, or a dependent clause, introducer comma plus your subject verb, your independent clause. And essentially, a tag comma is the opposite because it means you're adding something to the end of the sentence. So a tag comma would be like this, subject verb comma, and then add a word, a phrase, or something else after. So look at the first two examples. My uncle believes in drinking a daily glass of wine, comma, too, right? This is a word. Or he appears to be in good health, comma, however. So I want to put a star sign next to however. Do you see how tricky this conjunctive adverb is? It's very fickle. It can be in 3 different places. We can put this at the beginning, like, however, he appears to be in good health, right? In this case, you would need an introducer comma. You can put it in between the sentence. He, however, appears to be in good health. And in that case, you would need 2 inserter commas. And of course, you can also put it at the end, in which case you would need a tag comma. All right, so there are some conjunctive adverbs or transition words that can be moved around, and you just have to pay attention to what kind of commas you have to use. All right, so moving on, phrases, or actually, for example, is not really a phrase, it's more like a conjunctive adverb. But again, you can see it's being placed at the end of the sentence, right? He swims for an hour every day, for example. So like, however, for example, can also be placed at the beginning with an introducer comma, in the middle with inserter commas, or at the end with the tag comma. All right. And I also want to put a star sign next to this example. He also plays tennis, comma, beating me most of the time. So this is our participle phrase, our verb ing phrase, which is adjective function. So usually the most efficient way of combining sentences would be to use subject verb, comma, plus a trailing phrase. So by trailing phrase, we simply means we add probably an appositive or a participle phrase at the end of the sentence. And that would make a very concise, not wordy sentence. All right. And let's take a look at the tag questions. It is called a tag question because there is a tag comma, right? It is not logical, comma, is it? You are a girl, comma, aren't you? You speak English, comma, don't you? Right? All of these are called tag questions, and you have to use tag commas before the questions. All right. And if we take a look at the direct quotation, you can see that essentially this is the opposite of introducer comma, right? He says, comma, I will outlive all of you, right? And this comma here, that is the tag comma. So let's say if I switch it around, I want to put my direct quotation in the beginning. I will outlive all of you, comma. He laughs. Laughs as he says. In this case, we would call this comma an introducer comma. All right. And that is our 4 types of commas.